Greetings and salutations. I am so sorry to be a day late. I am going through a lot. I'm going through some things emotionally, God blocked it, emotionally and physically at this present time. But we won't let that stop our new favorite show from being reviewed. This is Queens. It's Queens with an S. It's not Queen with a not S. Correct. Am I right? I am right. Okay. Season 1, episode 2, entitled Heart of Queens. We start the episode with somebody getting shot. So it picks up where it ended last week with, so we got a mom, a lesbian church lady, a disgraced host, and Brandy about to go on tour. And they're like, yeah, we about to go on tour. We about to have a good time. Somebody breathing in the background. And it was getting on my nerves, all that heavy breathing and carrying on. Suddenly, E-Rock, the manager, Eric E-Rock, he shows up. And he's beat up in the face. And they're like, girl, what happened to your face? He like, don't worry about it. Suddenly, somebody jumps out of anywhere, somewhere, nowhere, and shoots. We don't know who got shot. They don't ever come back to it in that episode. Brandy finally gets to sing. So she's singing. Because, they tried to perpetrate that this was an all-rap group. But you have Brandy. Utilize what you have. So Brandy is singing. And they rapping. And Cameron comes out of obscurity. Because apparently he was big back in his time. I'm not saying he wasn't Cameron. He's always been Cameron. But he and Brandy, they rapping and singing and, doing like you do when you got a song. And I gotta be honest with you, the acting. That's all I'm gonna say, the acting. From Cameron. But anyway, they rapping and singing and carrying on. We move on. I do have a question in my notes that says, are any of these girls from Queens, as in the actual people? Because we know Eve is from Philly. We know Brandy is from Mississippi, Los Angeles. Naturi is from New Jersey. And I don't know this other lady. Is she from Queens? It don't matter. They perpetrating. They playing characters. Let's see. At some point, they are doing a show, and Brandy is in her feelings about, of course, Valeria and E-Rock having their whatever they having. She is singing, and she's emotional. You can see the emotions on her sleeve. And one of them, I think it was Naturi who said, don't do this. And of course, Naomi does it, and she's like, we supposed to be girls, and y'all ain't treating me like family. We ain't family, and the nasty bees are done. And she storms off the stage. The most unrealistic part about this scene is that they were booed immediately. And people were booing, hissing, and throwing things. That's not realistic. Because a crowd would be like, is this a skit? Is she serious? What's going on? They would take time to register, but they were booed immediately. Husband about to have surgery. He's like, okay, time to get my head cut open. And Brianna's like, all right, let's go. And he's like, wait. And he gives her a piece of paper that we don't get to read at any point in the episode. And he's like, in case something happens. Okay. We find out that Butter Pecan, who I've just in my notes been calling Butter, and I probably just call her Butter from henceforth, is babysitting Brianna, Eve's children. And it warmed my heart. It warmed my heart. She had them doing yoga. Which, is unconventional babysitting. But they were all doing it, so Okay, you done got the kids quiet and they sitting down, they doing yoga. That look like good babysitting to me. Um, Let me see. Oh, not me in these notes saying I still need the details on that random mixed son. They just have this random biracial son that we just trying to figure out where he came from. But whatever, child. Let me see. So Notori, what's her name? Jill and Tina, her girlfriend. I think it's Tina. Are in the bed, honey. They happy to be waking up to one another and having a good time. I don't know. And then they hear a noise in the kitchen. Why does Jill reach under her bed and get a shotgun and cock it? And she ready to shoot. I'm like, wow. Wow, that took me aback. Like, I could see reaching under there and getting a pistol, but she had a shotgun. I said, honey, taking me back to the old days in the country. And we find her husband, her estranged husband, Braxton P. Hartnebreed, in the kitchen cooking eggs. And they like, oh, what's going on? He's like, I had time to clear my mind. And I've read through the scriptures. And Tina like, okay, well, let me get on out of here. He's like, no, stay, because this involves all of us. And then he proposes that they practice polyamory. And Jill's like, baby, I am a lesbian. I am homosexual. I don't want no man. And I don't want to share my woman with no man. And she especially don't want no man. Because you can look at her and tell she don't want no man. And it was weird. I'm like, okay, I guess he has to process in his own way, but he thought that was gonna fly. Incorrect. We get back to This Ain't Sweetie. Lauren, the rapping child. And she is in rehab cutting the fool. She playing her music loud and she in the mirror doing her makeup and everybody like, girl, we in group. It's time to share. Like, you are cutting up. And basically, they tell her either share or, I don't think they gave her the share or get out, but they were like, you need to take off your mask and your multifaceted, multicolored wigs and be your true self in here and talk about yourself. And of course, This Ain't Sweetie wasn't feeling that. So she was like, let me get on out of here. Alright, I'm gonna head out. I'll let y'all later. And she just pops up at Jailhouse. And we'll get back to that in a minute because we jump to Naomi. Naomi out to eat with her daughter, and her daughter like, I was so surprised that you called me because after your stint on the BET Awards, I thought, it'd be another year or so before I heard from you. And Brandy's like, I'm trying to do better. Naomi, she's like, I'm trying to do better. And at some point, Cameron just appears, and she's like, girl, what? Hey, come eat. And I'm like, that ain't me. I'd be like, hey, how you doing? So good to see you. And then I turn right back to my daughter, and we having dinner. I would not invite him to eat. But he sits down, and they order food, and I can't remember. What's Naomi's daughter's name? Do we know that? I don't know. Daughter and Cameron are ordering the same meal, the exact same way. No, a plain burger with extra pickles. I was like, dang, you can't get just a little ketchup? You don't eat the patty. Sometimes be dry. Sometimes your burger patty be dry. Now I understand a relatively plain burger, because you don't want all that mayonnaise and mustard and all of that. I can understand that. But in order to not have a dry patty, maybe just a little bit of ketchup, just a dab of ketchup, and then extra pickles. You lost me with the pickles. You lost me with the extra pickles. You lost me. But it was not my order, so it was fine. But yeah, they ordered their food the exact same way, and now we trying to figure out, ooh, is this her daddy? I genuinely do not care. But for the sake of the child, I guess it's good for her to learn who her father is. I don't understand why when they ordered the exact same meal, she wasn't looking like, is you my dad? Because that's what I'd have been looking like. But that's just me. Let me see. So Jill done went down to the church, as she does. You know, she loves, the Lord and Mary and them. And so she done tipped down to the Catholic Church because it's Mass. We about to have Mass. And so they doing the Mass and they getting ready to shake hands, and the girls don't want to shake hands with her. And then she get up there to do her communion, and I'm like, I've never even before COVID, everybody drinking out the same cup just don't sit right with me. I grew up Kojic. Everybody got their own individual little shot of grape juice and their own individual little piece of bread, and this doing remembrance of me. Take your own individual shot. All that drinking at the same cup, it don't speak to me. Not to me. So anyway, but they denied Jill. She can't take her communion, cause she gay, and the pastor's like, we denying you, and I'm like, rude. And then all of a sudden, paparazzi outside her church, snapping pictures, and I'm like, odd, very odd. And I spoke, I was going to say I spoke about it on my mama's channel because we're doing the review, but the review got cut off at 22 minutes, and I imagine we probably went 40 minutes talking, but we didn't know the review had got cut off, and I had some good commentary. It was terrible. Anyway, so we get back to the past, and we see Brianna, Jill, and Naomi. I'm having a hard time keeping up with their character names because it's just Eve, Brandy, and Naturi to me, but whatever. They rapping, they're a trio, and they rapping, and they, rap is me. I'm rapping, blah, I'm not a rapper, so whatever. And those wigs. I know the 90s was a different time and wig quality was different. But my God, today, yesterday, and forevermore. Wow, those wigs. And we see Valeria, Butter pops up, and do y'all watch Much Love from Kentucky? When she was doing her Sims, and I think she still does on Twitch, but when she was doing her Sims videos on YouTube, she had a character named Butter. And now when I'm saying Butter, it reminds me that it doesn't matter. I'm just spiraling. But anyway, Butter walks up to E-Rock and is like, hey, they good, but you need a light-skinned heifer like me to take them to the next level, which sadly is the truth. I hate that that's the truth, but unfortunately it is, because when you think about the groups, from the past, they had like I think I said in my last review, the dark-skinned girls had the talent, except for 3LW. Because Adrian used to eat them girls up on them vocals. No shade to Naturi. I promise it's no shade because I love Naturi's voice. But Adrian would be eating them girls up on them vocals. She really would. But the dark skinned girl, I just realized ain't nobody dark skinned in the Cheetah Girls. I don't like that. I don't like that, Disney. But yeah, when you look back on those groups, wasn't nobody dark skinned in TLC either. Interesting. But when you look back on the groups, the darker girls really carried the group, and they had them in the short wig. They always had the dark skinned girl in the short wig with the flip. You remember 702 when Mila had the flip? You remember when Kelly Rowland had the flip? And I don't know, the way they treated dark skin, the way they still treat dark skinned singers in media, just it don't sit right with me. It don't. Um, but anyway, so they talking, cause E-Rock is telling them, we finna add this new girl to the group, and they playing her little rap stuff, and it's not good. It's obviously not good. We know that it's not good. But E-Rock is smitten with her, and she light skinned, so let's just add her to the group. So they add her to the group. We flash forward, and we find out that they are struggling to book venues. This was confusing to me, but we'll get to the confusing part. They are trying to go on this world tour with This Ain't Sweetie, and apparently they're struggling to book. And I'm like, but she's supposed to be that girl. This Ain't Sweetie is supposed to be that girl. So I'm confused as to why they're struggling to book venues. And they're like, we're not going on a mall tour. And I'm like, why would they be going on a mall tour when, this universe is Nikki, Saweetie, KailahJr is that girl. It was odd to me. But we move on to This Ain't Sweetie. Lauren, she goes to her mama's house. Her mama be in jail. And she like, girl, I can't do rehab. It's getting on my nerves. And Jill is like, you're going back. As your mother, I'm here to let you know you're going back to rehab. Purr. And Sweetie like, no, I don't think so. And Tina is like, it's too much going on. I need some space. I need to clear my head. And I'm like, Tina, I'm confused with you because if y'all hear the wind, God is shaking it up outside this window. He is shaking it up. But I'm confused with Tina because Tina was like, I can't love you in private. And now that Jill done came out on national television, national black television. I don't know if white people watch BT or what. But Jill done came out. And now Tina's like, I need space. I'm like, you get on my nerves. You get on my nerves. 'Cause I ain't in the mood to play games with you. You get on my nerves. Anyway, that's not how the song go, I don't think, but a little Jasmine Sullivan to brighten your day. But yeah, Tina was getting on my nerves. She was it was like, girl, what do you want? Tell me what you want, what you really, really want. And I'll tell you what I want, what I really want. I wanna anyway, a little Spice Girls to brighten your day. But yeah, it was weird. It was just, I didn't understand. Naomi is trying to get her solo deal, as she has been trying to do the whole time. And Cameron is like, yeah, I want to sign you to my situation. And that's what he said at lunch, at dinner. And that was odd to me, because how he just pop up at the lunch that they was at, and he had this thing in the bag. Like, that was weird for me. Like, it's one thing to pop up and you say, hey, how you doing? So good to see you, because we out, out in the same areas or whatever. But for you to pop up on her and have this plan ready, I don't like that. But yeah, so he takes her to the A&R's office, and they play the music, and she, singing down, whatever, and they're like, yes, we would love for you to join us as a writer. And she like, a writer? And they're like, how are we gonna break a 41-year-old new artist? And I'm like, first of all, she's not a new artist. Second of all, stranger things have happened. And then third of all, if I was Naomi, I'd have took that writing deal, because writing gets you good money. You can write these songs and then you can fund your own independent record. But whatever. I be thinking big. Naomi don't be thinking big. She be thinking all in her feelings. So she don't want to write. She gets up. She's, she leaves, and she mad at Cameron for saying, for setting her up, and he acting like he didn't know that was gonna happen, and I'm like, I don't know. So then we get back to Brianna, and her husband done got shed of this tumor, and he wake up with no memory of having cheated on Brianna, and she like, are you kidding? You playing with me? He's like, I could never cheat on you. I love you. And I'm like, I don't know. And I said on my mom's channel, but again, I think this part got cut. For him to have had a tumor that would alter his behavior, why would he only have done one thing? That's weird to me. You got a tumor pressing on your whatever, and it's making you act however. And you only did the one thing. You didn't go out and buy a boat, a yacht, you didn't just do a bunch of stuff that was out of your character. You just did that one thing, and now the tumor gone, and you wake up and you fine, and you don't remember. Suspicious. Very suspicious. And that's what Butter says, because Eve come back to the house, and Butter still watching the kids. And Eve come back to the house, Brianna, and she tells her the story. And Butter like, you believe that? He playing you. And I'm kind of on her side with that. I think he playing her. So then Jill pops up at the house with this ain't Sweetie, because this ain't Sweetie said she was gonna go with her mama wherever her mama go, her mama being Jill, of course. And so they pop up down to the house, and then Naomi pops up at Brianna's house. So everybody at the house, and she like, y'all don't know how to call. Like, dang, why is y'all at my house? Very much that. And so they in there, and they all got their own individual problems or whatever. And then Eric comes in, E-Rock, and he tells them that, we booked a stadium. And he tells, this ain't Sweet. What is her name? What's her rap name? Let me look it up. I'm not gonna stop calling her This Ain't Sweetie, because I've gotten into that habit now. But what is the name? Lil Muffin. I won't be a part of that. Her name is Pepe Sangua. Okay, we love to see it. While I'm here, let me figure out Valeria's. Valeria's name is Nadine Velasquez. I won't be calling her by her name because I don't know her. And it's no shade. I'm just not gonna remember. But anyway, Eric tells this ain't Sweetie that she in trouble, and he'll deal with her later. But the girls got a stadium tour because he don't put his money down. He said, whatever tickets don't sell, he'll pay for that. So he done told Butter that, if they don't sell out, that he on the hook for $500,000. And Butter like, well, I can scrape up $500,000. And I'm like, so what? But then, like I said on my mama's channel, which I believe got cut, she has insecurities. And so, because if I had that much money, I just gone and, since I lost my job, invest that money, open me up a bunch of chicken shacks, and let God be true quickly. But she has her insecurities, so she went back to doing music. And I'm like, if you didn't want to do music, then don't do music. Just use the money you have to do something else. But whatever, she has her insecurities. And we have a TV show, baby. Don't you remember? A little Dream Girls to brighten your day. But yeah, so she says, if we gotta scrape up the money, we'll scrape up the money, child. That's just that on that. At some point, the girls get to arguing. I cannot remember exactly why they were arguing. And I don't take detailed notes. I just be going off the top of my head. Oh, good. I'm in my emails, honey. I'm doing a bunch of stuff. Um. Anyway, yeah, I don't remember what they was fighting about, but Eve said something about Bud and I having a family, and I was like, dang, very rude, very very rude. And Valeria even said that's messed up. At some point, Naomi said she's done with music because she had done got all upset in her spirit about them wanting her to write, and I'm like, girl, you better write like your life depended on it. That's the only reason Carrie Hilson got a house today. That's the only reason, because her music ain't sale, but that's not what's important. I love Carrie Hilson, and it's no shade, it's just the truth. um that's not a read, it's just a fact. A little Paris is burning to brighten your day. So yeah, Naomi said she was done. Now, at some point, her daughter told her over the phone, because she had done called her daughter, and she was like, I just wanted to hear your voice. And the daughter like, oh, I guess, child. And so her daughter's like, if you don't get that record deal, what was the reason? Like, why you left me for if you don't get this record deal? And then she hang up on her mama. So her mama go down to the A&R man house, and she starts singing Miley Cyrus's Wrecking Ball on his front lawn. And I would have called the police. Because why is you out here hollering in the middle of this very produced record? Because she had harmonies, and she was singing over herself. Don't you ever say I just walked away. I will. And I'm like, girl, get off this man Poach. With all this carrying on. With all of this carrying on. But apparently I think he has found that, yeah, well, he did. He found that she has the talent to sing on her own. So he gives her an ultimatum. Not an ultimatum. That you can get this record deal, but you can't sing with the Nasty Bees because we trying to change your image. And I'm like, multifaceted. Girl, we love a multifaceted queen. I don't know. Record companies don't know. They just don't know what sells. But yeah, so now she got to choose between her career that she had already had that is making a resurgence, or a brand new career. And so they down at the concert getting ready to, do the stadium, and Naomi ain't there. And they trying to figure out, well, where's Naomi? Is she not coming? She coming? What's tea? And so they basically are like, I'm sorry, y'all, I got distracted. They basically are like, I'm going on stage with or without her. Because Eve was like, I done put on all this makeup and this wig, and I look too good. I'm conceited. I got a reason. I look way too good. Anyway, yeah, so she like, I look too good for foolishness. for us not to go on this stage. So let's get out here and do it. And so they get out there, and they like, introducing the Nasty Bees, Professor Sex. And the light, lights up, and there she is. Jill the Thrill. And the light lights up, and there she is. Butter Pecan. And the light lights up, and there she is. And then there's this long pause. And of course, Brandy's coming. Girl, it's episode 2. We got a season to do. So of course she will be there. But there's this long pause, and this, oh my God, will she? Won't she? Will she? Won't she? And of course, then they say, explicit lyrics. Boom. And the light lights up, and there she is. And that's the show. Thank you so much for watching. I'm still very much enjoying the show. I'm having a good time. I hope y'all are having a good time with my reviews. And, I would love to hear y'all's opinions and thoughts down in the comments. Because I don't think I got any comments on the last video, but I did get some new subscribers. So what's up? How y'all doing? We keep it real country and simple down here. But yeah, drop in the comments how y'all felt about, the show, where you want it to go, what y'all want to see coming up. Because I have some thoughts and things that I would like to see. But yeah, I just want to see how y'all feeling. So drop it down, like, comment, subscribe, all the things the YouTube will say, and I'll catch y'all next week. Peace.